Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am doing another video on accounting, and if you haven't seen my previous video, it was the first video of like a series I'm doing on my channel, and it was on how to keep up on track with your chartered accountant studies, accounting studies, basically anything to do with accounting. And it's also a little bit of schoolwork as well. So if you haven't watched that yet, you can go and watch that. I will put in a card and link it in the description, but it's I think like 3 videos back or something. And yeah, this video will basically follow up on that video. Well, I will reference to that video. So yes, I'm super excited. I'm just going to keep these videos very relaxed, and I'm trying to not do like spend too much time on it. And I mean not like speaking and preparing for it, it's just like the editing, so that I can, because obviously I have a lot of things going on, and also I'm doing other videos that's more like live videos, like lifestyle videos, not life. So I'm just keeping this very like, you know, chilled. I'm sitting here in my workout clothes. I'm gonna work out after this. It's a Sunday morning, so I'm going to jump in straight into the video. And this video is going to be how I studied, my study techniques. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. I'm going to explain it as clear as possible. And then yeah, and thank you for all the support on the previous video. I saw that people really liked it, people commented, people messaged me. So yes, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, yeah, to see more videos. And then let's jump into the video. Okay, so the first things again, so studying is, I thought in a way that I can explain it, because always before I start a video I try to just run it through my head, especially videos like this. But then I thought like I'm jumping around, so the best way I thought that I can explain this is how my file, or my, I think you call it a file, like your normal file where you file your documents, and how that will look like, because that is how I studied. So it's yet again into 3 folders. So for example, I had subjects which was tax, accounting, auditing, cost accounting, financing. So I will have 5 different sections in my file, or I will have 5 different files. That's usually the one I went with, especially as the further you get into your studies, because then you get more more, I want to say content, more like, obviously your workload gets more, so then it's better having a file per subject. So for example, I had my accounting file, and in that accounting file I will have several sections which will be like I'll use dividers, like colorful dividers, and one will be for one subject. So it will be dedicated towards, say, I don't know, PPE, property, plant and equipment. The next one will be for I don't know, intangible assets. You know, I will section it off like that. Okay, so then within that several sections I will then have 3 sections. So I hope this, I'm explaining this clear. So for example, for intangible assets, there will be a front cover saying intangible assets, and then I will have 3 sections within intangible assets. And the first section is basically referring to my previous video. So if you haven't watched that, I think that is, yeah, if you really struggle with keeping up or whatever, or just doing good, that's really what helped me. So the first section of a, what's the onderwerp? It's not a subject, and is it a subject? I'm not sure. But anyways, the first section of like intangible assets would be my preparation that I did. So that would be all my summaries, basically everything from my slides, my my IFRS, my actual like textbook. That will be in that first section of intangible assets. And then if I couldn't get to it, there was actually someone commenting and saying that they don't always have time to prepare, to go through slides, textbook, and then like the regulation or standards. And that also happened with me. Then I will catch it up on over weekends, or if I couldn't do that, then I will leave it for the time when I study, but then it will be minimized, won't be everything. But that first section is basically my preparations, my summaries, everything, you know, summarized. Now I get to my studies. Now I get to my second section within intangible assets. Now I will basically go through, I will sit at my desk, I will go through that first section, okay? I will go like literally from top. I'll maybe have my slides again next to me. I'll go through it, everything that I could remember, because I already went through it when we handled it in class, or when the lecturer went through it in class that day. I already went through it, tried to understand it. So now when I sit and I study, I go through it again. Some of the things you will remember, some of the things you'll know just because of repetitiveness. Maybe the lecturer mentions it more than once in the class. So those things I will be like, okay, I remember it, like it will stay in my memory for the test or exam in 5 days time. So I have it in my head, you know, I've learned it, it is there, it's fine. Then you get to those certain parts of that topic where it's so difficult, you struggle to understand it back then, you're struggling to understand it right now. Those things I write down again. I make simple, understanding, wholesome summaries of that, very like summarized. And these summaries are very condensed, it's very small, it's getting to the point. So the second section of my file will then be those summaries of the topics I really struggled with and that I still can't get. I still need to go look up for some things, and then I'm like, oh, I remember now. Those things I'll put in the second section, okay? So this is already then a summary of my big summaries, basically. And then my third section is basically while I study, and I always have these examples that really made me understood my difficult topics. If I go to that example, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now, that you know, this is why you do this is how you calculate this. Those examples I'll write down for me, or I had a printer, or no matter how, but I will basically then take that example, put it in a small way for myself, and I'll put it in my third section. So now I'm currently sitting with my first section, which is all my big summaries. My second section, that is basically my most difficult topics, which are summarized and which are condensed, and it's there for me to go and have a look at again. And then my third section is basically support for that second section. It's all the examples and you know, things that like where you actually like practice your theory that help me to understand my difficult topics, or just help me understand something, then I will put it there. And also just on that is, even in my preparation, when I do my preparation as per my previous video, and I recognize an example like that, like exercise, and I'm like, this will really help me when I study, I already go and I put it in the third section, because then I know, you know, I don't have to, when I study, be like, oh yeah, where's that example that really was good explaining this certain part of the topic. I already go put it there, and I made it creative. I made it like my things not too much colorful, like wasting time. I will make colors in trying to understand things. Okay, so that was the best way for me to explain basically how I study with the 3 sections per topic in my files. And then just the other part that really made me, that helped me, but this can be different for a lot of people, because this is just basically how I studied and how I got things to stuck into my head, and that was visualizing things. And it's weird in thinking, how do you visualize accounting studies? But I really tried to, in auditing, to understand, like, I can't think of examples now straight away, but it was just, I was visualizing things in my head, and that way I could understand it way better. I even did that at school. If I use biology as a example again, I really like, I don't know, I had pictures with words, with chart flows in my head, and in that way I just remember everything. Like, that's really one thing that really helped me, is visualizing everything in my head, even if it's not something you can put a picture to. If it is an intangible, you can't touch it, like somehow in my mind I created something for me to make it tangible, to make myself remember it. So if I read something, I won't just read it, I will create the story in my head, and somehow it will just stick better than just trying to repeat it the whole time. Repeat, and it's just words. I was trying to visualize, what is this, how can I make it something more in my head to actually go back to. So yeah, so basically for me the main thing was having a file that was ready, and then the day before the exam I'll just quickly go to that second section, third section, go check the things that I really struggled with, that I remember, you know, these was the topics I struggle with. Oh yes, I get it now, I'm ready for my exam. So yes, I don't think there's anything else. Obviously there's small things, like I literally just sat on my butt and I worked and I studied if it was time to do that. Even if it wasn't study time, I was the one sitting, I was putting in the hours that was needed, especially in honors. It became more towards the end of my studies, like the beginning first year. You know, I was doing a lot of things at university, so you know, it was like just balance. But as I got more to like honors, like study time obviously increased. Your workload gets more, things get more difficult. And the same with school. As you go to matric, I mean, you need to spend more time, especially if you want to do good. So I think that is that. I don't think there's any other tip. Yeah, I think that is it. So if you have any questions on this, please let me know down below. I will answer it. And if it's like a thing you want to know and I can make a quick video on it, I will do it anytime. I love it. The next video will probably be on how to present, like how to present, whether it's like I struggled with it, like speaking with the client during my articles. I had to present to like partners of other big four firm, because we did like a what do you call it, a group audit together. So they had to cross review and I had to present at my current work a topic, and then also like just, you know, speaking out loud. And this will help with whether you're in school, need to do like an oral exam, just anything like that. Speaking out loud, I really struggle with that. I really struggle with, you know, just having, yeah, just everything with speaking out loud, presenting, dealing with people. So I'm gonna make a video on that next, and then probably also a video on how I deal with stress. I'm so excited. I love these topics. I'm still learning, and I can only, you know, give you guys what I have learned so far. I'm still young in this. I'm only 26, so I've been working for 4.5 years now, and you know, I think it's a good, like, for young people to hear what I have to say. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, and then I see you next week with a new video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye bye.